What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. In today's video, we're going to be doing a showcase video for one of my most newly pulled legends, being the brand new Dogstorm and Cat Viper. This is definitely one of the legends that I've been wanting to pull for a very long time, or ever since his release on Global, to be honest, because he just looks like so much fun, and he definitely is. You guys are going to be seeing a few different clips of me utilizing this character, and some of the teams that you can build around him are actually very interesting, and the way that this character works is just really awesome. So before we get into the actual video with the showcasing of clips, I want to actually go ahead and show you guys what they actually do. So this is their combined captain effect. I will actually go ahead and skip over to their solo ones first, and then we'll talk about their combined one. So the first one we're going to be talking about is Dogstorm. So Dogstorm's captain effect will be a 3x attack to Cerebral and Striker, but when you have Inu out, or Inu or Dogstorm, basically you get a stronger attack boost for your Cerebral characters depending on your tap timing. So if you hit a perfect, your next Cerebral character will get 3.3x attack boost. And then they also will make Strength Orbs beneficial to both Cerebral and Striker. Now, moving on to Nekomamashi or Cat Viper, his captain ability is essentially the same thing, except that it is a 3.3x attack boost depending on your tap timing, specifically for Striker characters. So it is a little bit different, and also obviously makes Psi Orbs beneficial to Striker and Cerebral, meaning that if you have one Inu out and one Neko out, you are guaranteed to have Psi and Strength beneficial to your Striker and Cerebral characters at the same time, all the time, which is really strong. And honestly, in terms of their solo captain effects, I think for a dual unit, it's pretty passable for what they do as solo captains. Talking about their combined captain effect though, this is where things start to get a little bit choppy. So we know that they are Cerebral and Striker captains, we know that. They are only going to boost though by 3.5 times and up to 4 times depending on your tap timing. Now this is a very big discrepancy between this character and other dual legend Sugo Fest exclusive characters, where we've seen literally every other dual legend that I can think of at this point has over a 4x attack boost when they are the combined form, at least a 4.25 times boost, and that's not even relying on tap timing or anything. Luffy and Ace does rely on getting matching orbs, which is still pretty good, and that's, you know, it's a 4.25 times attack boost, whereas with this character, you start off at a base 3.5, and you can only get up to a max of 4 times when you're hitting a perfect. So I can understand why people have a little bit of frustrations about this character. We'll go into it a little bit more detail further on in the video, but talking about the rest of their captain ability, they also provide a 1.5 times recovery boost, or they give you a 1.5 times recovery healed at the end of each turn for every perfect that you hit, which is really nice to have, though they only get recovery when they're the dual captain, so I wouldn't suggest giving them recovery cotton candies just because of this. And then also Strength and Psi are beneficial to your Cerebral and Striker characters as well. As for their special ability, they max out at a 14 turn cooldown, and their special ability is one of the best reasons why I have to say that this character is phenomenal. This character is so strong, right? With their special 14 turn cooldown, as I said, boosting the attack and type effects of normal attacks, which is color affinity, for Striker and Cerebral characters by 1.75 times for 1 turn. Straight off the bat, fantastic. Attack and color affinity in one special ability is fantastic. You get the dual unit for 3 turns, of course, like pretty much every other dual legend in the game. And then, during that turn, you activate that ability where you get the 1.75 attack and color affinity. If you hit 2 perfects, you get a 2.25 times orb boost to your team, or to the Striker and Cerebral characters, that is, for the next turn. So the great thing about this is, and you guys are going to be seeing that in the many clips, of course, is the fact that you can get both of these to activate, where you get the attack and color affinity, and then when you use the friend captain special, of course, on the next turn and you hit the right amount of perfects, you can also get a 2.25 times orb boost as well. And to get all of those differing damaging multipliers from just your captains alone makes his character really strong. So these are the main components of Neko and Inu dual units. So now let's go ahead and take the time to go ahead and talk about them even further in the rest of the showcase video. So let's go ahead and get into the showcase video. So there are 5 different clips you guys are going to be seeing in this video today. 3 different raid bosses, and 2 different Coliseums. Now, the raid bosses that I've chosen to showcase this guy on, we've got Raid Zora right here. Raid Zora, one of the better characters in the game in terms of free-to-play side of things, so I just wanted to show off how this team is able to beat that. We've also got Raid Garp and Sengoku, which is actually out right now as of me recording this video, and I decided to do that because that's actually a pretty challenging raid boss that requires like very specific units in order to beat it easily. And even though this team doesn't really utilize the characters that they would kind of recommend to beat it, this team is able to beat it. You know, Cat Dog is just that good. Also, we have Raid Fujitora at the end, just because I wanted to showcase a mono striker based team and it's able to beat it very, very comfortably as well. And then the 2 Coliseums you guys are going to be seeing, we have Coliseum Daifuku and Coliseum Katakuri. So 2 relatively recent Coliseums that Neko and Inu are able to defeat. So anyways, getting into the showcase about Neko and Inu. So through playing them in various pieces of content, definitely the #1 thing that you need to bring when you're running these guys as your captains is some sort of orb manipulation character, because as you know, with the captain ability, you are able to get strength and sight orbs beneficial, which is great. And, you know, depending on what team you're running, you can run the Zunisha as well, which will grant you tandem and recovery orbs. But in my personal opinion, just from playing the character, it's definitely not enough. You definitely need some other characters on your crew in order to supply some matching orbs. Now, one character that I do use in a couple of different teams is actually Treasure Map Shanks. He's a fantastic unit because obviously he shuffles your orbs around, including block, gives you a pretty good chance of getting some matching orbs, which is really, really nice to have. And also he gives you tap timing bonus, and the fact that he does have double special activation means you are able to use him on multiple different stages. So Treasure Map Shanks is just a really, really fantastic character to run on Neko and Inu teams. Another character that I actually used a couple times was also Legend Corazon. Man, Legend Corazon's so good, giving you a really good healing as well as removing so many different debuffs. And I guess in the same vein as that, Treasure Map Nami is also really good because she does provide you with, once again, good orb manipulation, transforming badly matching and block orbs into matching, as well as reducing 3 turns of a variety of different debuffs. So characters like that are really, really going to be nice here. And because, you know, you have a character like Neko and Inu with their special ability that provide orb, attack, and color affinity boost, there aren't really too many other things you need to really chuck on your team in order to, you know, get enough damage output. As long as you do have type advantage, that's going to be more than enough in order to take down the enemy. However, in this situation here against Coliseum Katakuri, the way that he is built, it means that you really can't get type advantage against him. So this is where we go ahead and use a character such as Treasure Map Sabo, who allows us to get a conditional boost against the enemy. And like another character you could use who also fits on this team that provides a really good conditional boost is Coliseum Magellan, being a striker character of course, and is able to provide poison and strong poison and the conditional against strong poisoned enemies. So, you know, characters like that are also going to be nice, but, you know, as I said, if you have type advantage, more than enough, you know, the color affinity, attack, and orb boost that Neko and Inu give you is going to be enough in order to KO the enemy. You guys are also seeing in this example here against Coliseum Katakuri that, you know, we do have to take a couple turns in order to prepare this team, in order to actually get that burst turn ready. And the fact that when they do become the dual captain and you hit perfects, you actually get that recovery back, which is really, really cool. And I actually didn't really notice it the first few times I was using him. And then when I realized that I was healing so much when I did combine as the dual captain, it actually makes a difference. So, you know, you guys are seeing here on the Coliseum Katakuri, the healing's great, we're able to take more damage. This is actually coming in clutch as well in the other Coliseum clip against Coliseum Daifuku, and we'll get to that once we talk about it. But the healing mechanic in Neko and Inu's dual captain effect, you know, it's kind of like a thing you kind of push aside and you don't really think about too much, but in some very specific circumstances that recovery is quite key. Now, I did mention at the start of the video that I would probably still suggest feeding HP and attack because you only get the recovery when they're the dual captain, and furthermore, they don't have pinch healing as as a potential ability either. So, you know, recovery candy for them doesn't really help out all that much in my personal opinion. But, you know, it is what it is. Some people might disagree. Some people really might rely on that recovery. But in my opinion, if you're dying just because of that specific recovery cotton candies, your team probably isn't really that good to begin with. But moving on to the next clip here, we have against Garp and Sengoku raid boss. This was actually pretty good here because I do know that, you know, the stage 3 of Garp and Sengoku, they have a lot of mob characters. They have a reasonable amount of health. They're kind of annoying. And the good thing is you can use Coliseum Kid with Neko and Inu as long as Neko or Cat Viper is out as your captain, because your captain has to be a striker, of course, in order for Kid to activate. So that's a really, really nice thing that you can actually go ahead and use as well in your arsenal. But then, you know, using obviously Legend Corazon here to remove a lot of different debuffs here, even if Sengoku was the mini boss that we got on stage 4 here, because if you guys don't know, it is variable depending on who you get. It's either going to be Garp or Sengoku as the boss on stage 4, and they do different debuffs to you. So Corazon is able to remove pretty much anything that we can basically get handled here on stage 4, which is great. And also, of course, we're using the Shanks here to allow us to get more matching orbs, of course, and that will enable us to take down this stage 4 Garp much, much easier. Now, I was kind of worried heading into stage 5 of Garp and Sengoku because Garp and Sengoku have a slot barrier. You need to hit him with 2 strength orbs before you can start dealing damage to him. So I would usually have Shanks here in order to not only give us more matching orbs, but the fact he actually removes barriers by 1 turn. So we can actually go ahead and just deal with the barrier on 1 turn, and then it's going to dissipate on the 2nd turn, whether we activate Shanks turn 1 or turn 2. But luckily we did get some good strength orbs here on turn 1, so that's more than enough damage to go ahead and break him through there. And because of course we won't have the attack and color affinity on the following turn, we actually have Coliseum Magellan here, as I did mention earlier, providing a really strong conditional boost here, as well as also getting that type advantage against Garp and Sengoku. Just goes to show that, you know, there are a lot of options here. You guys are going to see definitely like some characters have some overlap in all these different clips, and you know that's just the case here because those characters are just so strong, such as Treasure Map Shanks and also Legend Corazon. But you know, it is what it is, you know, and definitely Coliseum Magellan coming through as well. I love the fact that we have him on global now. He's just such a strong character that enables you just output more damage out of nowhere just because of his self-proccing poison conditional, and that's really strong, right? Because some enemies, I do know some enemies are immune to strong poison specifically, but the thing about it is, right, is, you know, you'll have enemies that have delay immunity, some enemies have defense immunity, some people have poison immunity. It's nice to have the variety across the board. You know, we did use Treasure Map Sabo earlier. You can run different characters to get different types of conditional boost depending on your situation. So that's one of the really cool things about Neko and Inu, the fact that they can run striker and cerebral characters. There's a really, really nice mix there, and the fact that, as I said before, I keep reiterating this, but it's so important to this character and why they're so good. The fact that the captains provide their own boosts is so nice, because if they didn't provide like attack, orb, and color affinity boost, it'd be so annoying because you would have to run literally like mono striker or mono cerebral with Neko and Inu. But the fact that the captains provide the boost to both different typings, you can run hybrid teams, which makes teams like this possible here. We've got cerebral characters and we have striker characters here against the Coliseum Daifuku. Now, this is where I mentioned earlier that the healing mechanic is really, really powerful for Neko and Inu, because you can see on the oven stage, we get hit with a ton of burn damage. I think it's 2,000 to 3,000 damage per perfect. And the fact that they do provide that healing every time we do hit it perfect, obviously it's not going to outlast the burn damage, but it enables us to tank a little bit more damage, which is really, really key. Honestly, I could have stalled one more turn in order to get the host ship special to activate here on this team. Not really needed though, as you guys seeing here. And obviously here we go with the special animation of Neko and Inu. They did a really good job in my personal opinion in terms of their special animation. I love the fact that when they talk, they actually talk in time with the voice acting that comes through, which is nice. Sometimes that's a little bit choppy, and I think that just the special animation themselves, the quality of it is very, very high. Now, obviously, the teams that I'm showing you guys in this video today, they could definitely be optimized in many different ways to potentially make your teams even faster or deal a little bit more damage. But, you know, this is what I'm saying. You know, I kind of just like threw these teams together. Some of them did take multiple tries in order to get correct, to make sure activated specials in the right timings, the right rooms, the right order, even in certain situations. Especially in this situation here with the Coliseum Daifuku, right? Because you can only use the Conjurer special when your captain is a striker. So you need to make sure that Neko's out. And then also, I wanted the right color against Perospero, so I wanted to make sure that I had my Inuarashi out. So I had to use my Kanjuro first while Neko was out, and then switch to then go ahead and use the Karina special to get matching orbs when Inu is the captain. So, you know, it's just kind of mind games you really have to think about. You actually really have to focus when you're using a captain like this, because, you know, with some of the specials that you have in the game now, they are very reliant on the captain being a certain class. Like I said, with Coliseum Kid, with Dex Kanjuro, your captain has to be the striker. But, you know, you do have to make sure that you are swapping in the right timings to make sure that you can actually go ahead and kill the enemy in the right order so you can have your specials active. Now, one thing that I didn't talk about throughout the entire video is their switch effect. Now, the reason why I didn't talk about it is because, in my opinion, I don't think it's the best switch effect in the game. It is far from the best. It is just kind of okay. So what it does, it reduces paralysis on your entire team by 1 turn. That's actually pretty good. You know, then you have Wipe It and Marker, who just kind of does it better in my opinion though. But they also reduce Despair and Slot Bind on themselves completely. Now, that's pretty nice. The fact that you, in situations, you don't actually need a Despair remover, but you gotta remember, if you are actually using the special ability to become the dual captain, you won't be able to switch. So if you get despaired while you're the dual captain, you're kind of in a little bit of a situation there. But they remove Slot Bind on themselves as well, which is still kind of a niche situation. A lot of the times there are limit break abilities now that can get around that, but it's just kind of okay. You know, the fact that they can switch, they can get rid of Slot Bind, it's kind of good, but mainly you're just using them because of the fact they have access to Striker and Cerebral characters, and that's the main draw to this character overall with their amazing special ability. But that's going to end this video, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video today, and if you guys did enjoy it, make sure to leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.